Sexual identity impacts how we fuck. Happy Pride Month to all of the queers, the straights, the gays, the allies. Happy Pride, happy Pride. June is upon us. So, this is our topic. This is our Sunday sermon. Now, when I say sexual identity, I am not trying to get caught up in words in the sense of like identity politics and all of that. I am simply saying how you perceive yourself, how the world perceives you, how you see the world impacts how you see yourself, and how you see yourself impacts how you fuck. So a little bit background about me. First of all, welcome to the Ignorant Intellectual brand page. This is a space where you are invited to think about your thoughts. This is a space where you are invited to have first draft thoughts. And I was taught that by my young people back in New York at Sadie Nash. So a first draft thought is a thought that is just fresh for you. You haven't interrogated it, made it cute, and you haven't queried it for public consumption and made it cute and polished. That is a first draft thought. A first draft thought is just what it sounds like, the first draft of a paper, a project. It hasn't been fine-tuned. This is a space for first draft thoughts. This is also a space to sit in tension and seemingly opposing feelings, thoughts, and ideas. So if you're one of those people who somebody say something and the first thing you're doing is dissecting it, lashing out, slicing and dicing, all in the person's neck before they could even finish their fucking sentence, sit back, fall back. This is a space where you are invited to think about your thoughts. I just thought, I have not polished this thought. So that is a little bit of the setup. So a bit about me. I am loud and proud queer. The interesting thing about that, I'm also 44 years old from New Orleans, Louisiana. My mother is 77. So that is some of my come from. I began having sex at 14 with a cisgender man who lived, I ain't gonna say where he lived because that would tell all the business because most people would know, but he lived very close to me in Holly Grove, New Orleans, Louisiana. And so my introduction to sex was heterosexual. I am assigned female at birth. I was raised deeply as a girl. I say all the time, I'm a girl who didn't grow up to be a cisgender woman. So non-binary, agender, gender queer, gender non-conforming, all those things feel sweet and syrupy to me for me. But I also been having sex with niggas for a long time too. So I vividly remember heterosexual sex with men. So I'm coming from the framework of I've had sex with men under a heterosexual lens. I've even had sex with women under a heterosexual lens. And I've also had queer sex. So when I say a person's sexual identity impacts how they fuck, that is the lane that I am coming from in this first draft thought. Yes? Because some people like to tussle. Some people like to say shit that I ain't saying. So I want to lay that foundation before we get into this real good. All right? All right. So yeah, anyway, I think I was watching that podcast with Big Sexy. Big Sexy is assigned male. I think identifies as a gay man. Is hilarious, admits that his dick is not big. People think he tall and big, so he got a big dick, but he don't. He does not enjoy attention on his penis. He likes to give pleasure. And so he was saying something on this podcast after he reeled me in by his transparency around not being a big dick nigga, because I thought it was about to go somewhere else. I said, oh, well, let me pay attention to him because he is honest, honey, because these niggas be out here lying on their dick size, okay? So he said something that made me think, it literally, I can think of how I fucked when I was fucking men and how vastly different I fuck now that I fuck. I have not fucked a cisgender man since 2001, which is the year I graduated college. How we fuck is, as our sexualities, many of us, some people's sexualities stay the same across the lifespan. As our sexualities shift across our lifetimes, how we fuck shifts as well. Now, there are little things and experiences and all of that that happen as your sexuality shift that allows your sexuality to shift versus somebody who could say, I'm still over here with the boys. I'm still over here with the men. You have people who have what we would call gay sex but don't identify as gay. We got men who like just getting their dicks up and got whole wives at home. We got women who just like to have fun every now and then with a woman who those women identify as heterosexual. So just because someone is behaviorally having what we would call gay sex don't mean they have a sexual identity of being gay. Now, more so what I'm talking about is what you do and who you are, and a dollop of what a political identity you may have. Like, they have a lot of people that don't identify as gay, don't go to Pride, don't do none of that, but we would say they gay. That's not up to us to say, but when we are trying to explain this shit inside of an English colonized language, it gets a little fucking difficult. But my whole point is that, a queer man approaches fucking very different. A cisgender queer man approaches sex very different than a cisgender man who just like getting head, who just likes to have fun every now and then. The way those two individual men fuck, a person who is queer identified, exists inside of a queer paradigm, is gonna fuck way different than a man who exists inside of a heterosexual paradigm, who has a wife, who doesn't go to gay clubs, who doesn't do gay shit, or who believes that just getting head don't make him gay. So our self-perceptions and personal sexual identities deeply impact the way we fuck, the way we physically have sex. So like I said in a post, you could hate penetration from a cis man, and you could go a whole bunch of years thinking I hate penetration, because all you know is from a cisgender man that penetrated you and you don't like it. Then you can find yourself, for whatever reason, in whatever condition, whatever situation, having sex with somebody who ain't a cis man, and you realize I love penetration. Whether that is via fingers, strap, whatever. You could love being fingered by a female assigned non-binary person. I have gotten that a lot of times having sex. People be like, oh, I actually thought I hated penetration, but I actually realized that I need to go interrogate because I really realized I just loved what happened between us, right? So again, how you see the world, the experiences you've had impact how you fuck. Like, you as an individual could, and y'all drop comments in the chat, y'all can come on this live. You as an individual can realize, I want to set aside these things I learned from a heterosexual gaze, or these mindsets that I bring into sex, and I want to pick up these things from a queer perspective. Because just like I say all the time, like, blackness is not some derivative of or offshoot of whiteness. It's not. It's its own entity, breathing, living experience and reality that is not an offshoot of whiteness. Blackness, black culture, black ways of being is a whole separate thing. Similarly, queerness can be, because sometimes queerness is mimicking straightness, but typically queerness is just a whole nother fucking way of being. A whole nother fucking way of being. Not an offshoot of cisness or straightness or all that. Granted, those things pattern often the way in which, when people say stud for stud is bad, that's because they're basing that on a heterosexist man for man is bad. Like, I know, like I said, plenty of people who hated penetration under a heterosexual construct, but fell in love with penetration in a queer context. So queerness is even shit like, what is sex? When you talk about queer sex, what is sex? Typically, heterosexual sex is penis enters vagina, that is sex. Or we have adjectives, oral sex. Oh no, we ain't have sex. I just gave him head. Oral sex. But baby, it becomes real juicy and syrupy sweet when you're trying to decide, did we have sex? Did I fuck such and such last night? Because it's so expansive, and you get to define what queer sex is when you talk about queer people. Do two men, cisgender men, penis people, have sex even if nobody put a penis into an asshole? Who knows? If they say so, is sex between two people with penises sex if it's dick sucking and ass eating? Is ass eating alone sex? That's the beauty of queerness, is it is in its truest form expansive. Let's see, Kim Chaos Possible says, the cisgender I was in my younger life may not be exactly the cisgender I am today, and it has changed how I fuck. That is why I say you don't have to shift in your sexual or gender identity. You could still be cisgender and fucking differently. For sure. Like, this ain't only about, oh, I was cisgender and now I'm transgender. But you can expound on that. Now, like I said in the post, I'm not saying that queer sex is perfect. I'm not recruiting. I'm never recruiting for people to come over here from the streets. I want to be clear about that. Any conversation I'm having about gay shit, I'm not recruiting y'all on streets. I'm not recruiting y'all. Oh, I'm sweating. I'm not recruiting y'all streets. Stay over there. Like Atlanta, we are full. Okay? So anyway, but I do think that when you are seeking expansion and you are seeking something wider, higher, taller, bigger, and you trying to get that from something that is compulsory, heteronormative, and straight and cisgender, you probably never gonna get that from that. You probably never gonna get the freedom you seeking, and that don't mean I am saying you have to fuck a woman. Come on. You can stay over there and be straight identified, but you need to be queering your sex. If you are seeking expansion, and queering your sex do not mean letting a man talk you into a threesome when you a straight woman. Because a lot of dudes think that is expansion. Oh, well, we could just have a threesome. Walk me slow as to how two straight people want to have sex with somebody of the same sex. But that's the automatic assumption that all women are open to women, which is not true. But my whole point is, I forgot what I was saying. Sex is fluid no matter straight, gay, or queer. I need you to expound on that. It's learning that there are different ways of being, especially outside of heteronormative brainwashing. That's where I was going. Thank you so much. Yes. That you don't have to identify as queer. You don't have to start having sex with bodies that are assigned the same sex as you. Meaning you don't have to be like, oh, well, I guess that means I'm a girl, so I should start fucking girls. No, you can stay over there with the dudes and still have more expansive sex. And still fuck differently. And not at all shift in your sexual identity. But if you are seeking, I'm not saying if you're seeking sex with the same bodies, I'm saying if you're seeking sex with the same mindset, with the same paradigm, with the same schemas, frames, and beliefs around sex. If you are still believing that a man letting a woman penetrate his ass is gay, you may forever be limited in how you fuck. So that's a mindset. If you still believe that you are a straight woman and you wouldn't date a bisexual man, that's a mindset. That's a mindset. So again, you don't have to start fucking new people, new genders. You can still keep the same genders you've been fucking, but if your beliefs around those bodies and what can be done with those bodies sexually don't expand, you're going to always and forever be in that tight, rigid bind. 2 examples I just gave. If you believe that a threesome is, are you trying to talk a woman into a threesome who is not queer? That's a mindset. If you don't want to be penetrated in your ass, and I'm not saying you have to be, but if your reason for not wanting to be penetrated in your ass is because that's some gay shit, sir, that's where your prostate is. It's a sexually stimulated organ. It's in your ass. Can't make it nowhere else. It feels good. It is why y'all secretly be busting nuts when you have a good shit, but you don't want nobody to know that. Sex, the act of fucking is what I'm talking about, which connects to a mindset and a perspective shift. Because we hold a lot of beliefs that are heteronormative, although we are having homosexual sex. Because straights, be clear, the gays also have heteronormative ideas, although we're gay. That's what I'm talking about. The queering of your mindset, your approach to sex, even if you're still having sex with the opposite sex. I saw a post from a brother recently who said he thought he was gay, but later learned he liked women who made him do gay stuff. So he actually was straight. Do you mean he likes like studs or women who fuck him in the ass? That's what I'm getting. That's cute. I knew a gay couple together for 35 years. They didn't have anal penetration because one didn't like it, but they still had gay sex. I gotta get out their business because I want to know what they was doing. But they still had gay sex because they was gay people. So he liked women who, well, I have a desire to fuck a man in the ass, a cisgender man. It hasn't happened for me yet. Ideally a straight one. I don't know why. We all have our things. But that makes sense. First of all, a lot of dudes like studs. Let me tell you something. Let me put myself on Front Street. So they got this relatively new bar, club, lounge in DC called Thirst Lounge. I love Thirst Lounge because Thirst Lounge got good drinks, good food, good music, good vibes. But Thirst Lounge, by and large, is a black gay man clientele. So I always say, if I was attracted to gay men, I would be off the market. And for the record, people seem to think that I'm in a long-term relationship. I am super single and have been single for 4 years. Shoot your shot, beloved. So I be in Thirst Lounge. Every time I'm in Thirst Lounge, I get hit on by men. Of course, they probably think I'm a man. And when I quickly say, I just want you to know, I'm not a man. I am not a man. I am assigned female at birth. There has never been one time in my life, including in Thirst Lounge, where that was a deterrent. Every single time, they'd be like, okay, that's cool. So performing a straight man sexuality, because these men will probably identify as gay dudes, clearly does not impede them from wanting to have sex with me. Who tells you real quick, objects in mirror are not what they appear. I got a vagina, boobs, I bleed every month. Every man has always said, child, I don't mind. But these, by and large, dudes will be like, they gay dudes. So I think that we use these words, we talk these certain talk, we use this terminology, when really, who do you want to fuck? Who looks good to your eye? Who makes you wet? Who makes your dick hard? That's the question. And if more people leaned into simply being with, dating, partnering with the people who make them who they're attracted to, and get away from identity politics, that would be easier. Because I know a lot of people who, do you know how many times I've been told, I am attracted to you if only you was a man? What the fuck? The first sentence was, I'm attracted to you. Girl, why? Do not bypass goal. Do not collect $200. You need to really listen to what your both brains are telling you. You attracted, but you have to uphold a politic. Blessed be. Blessed be. And I know my non-binary friends who out here living across spaces around gender, across gender presentations, can understand what I'm saying. But they're not identifying as pansexual, beloved. That's the point. That's the point. More people are actually pansexual than identify as pansexual. So we can make this academic, but I'm talking very plain language here. Sure, it's pansexual, but if the person is not identifying as pansexual and is saying, I'm attracted to you, but if only you was the thing that I say that I date. Because let's be clear, who we attracted to and who we partner with and ultimately choose is often very different. Who we are attracted to and who we ultimately choose to be seen in the world with, to be visible with, to bring home to mom and them, is often very, very different, child. Very different. So we can get on here and say, well, isn't that pansexual? Sure, to us, we know it's pansexual. But if they're not identifying as pansexual, none of them words matter. So that's what I mean when I say I'm not talking about identity politics. I'm not talking about terms and definitions of sexuality and the spectrum of the. I'm talking about who people choose to partner with versus who makes them wet, who makes their dick hard, is often very different. And I know that my non-binary friends know what I'm talking about. I know I could probably ask 10 black non-binary people how many times they know somebody was attracted to them, or how many times they was even told, ooh, I would fuck you if only you was insert the thing that I publicly say I fuck. We would be rich. I could free Palestine right now with that money. Chris, I know you know what I'm talking about. How many, let's just say women alone, cisgender, straight identified feminine women, I could query this thing, but we can have conversations on all the branches of this, have told us, this how I know trans women don't be lying. I already knew they wasn't lying. This how I know trans women don't be lying. Them dudes like trans women. Now, if you keep listening to most trans women, there is a distinction between who these cisgender men are attracted to and who they are visible with in the public. That's how I know these trans women ain't lying. That's how I know these trans women ain't lying. I know these dudes are attracted to them, because who we attracted to and who we ultimately choose is often very different. The bottom line is most people enjoy queer sex, because queer sex is, compared to heterosexual sex, much more liberatory, much less confined in definitions and who shoulda, woulda, coulda. Queer sex in its purest form is, what do you like? Is this consensual? Does this feel good? Let's try it. Now, when you talk about heteronormativity, you got to go through the, well, how tall are you, and how much do you weigh, and what body part is that, and what would society think, and I can't enjoy this feeling, and I know it's pleasurable to me, but it's too fucking much. So your sexual identity informs how you fuck. Your gender identity even is part of the conversation, because certain genders, certain bodies societally should not do these certain sexual acts. So if straight people could queer their sex, there would be a lot more happy straight people. But if straight people are committed to upholding heterosexual norms and values, then it's going to be a lot of unfulfilled straight people. I mean, if we really made a list of all the demands that straightness requires, it's like, well, what the fuck can we do? But yeah, and I measure that by interactions, and some of those interactions are the number of times men. Even a lot. Mine is really the straight black women who, you just so cute. If only you was a man, because a man is who I've decided and who I've said I am going to ultimately choose, because I've already written my life narrative on the dates, the times, the places, and all that. But if only you was this thing that I've decided, then we would be great. But since you're not the thing I've decided, I'm gonna just suppress what I'm feeling in my pants. Come on, blocking their own blessing. And I'm not, again, when I say I'm not recruiting, that is not just a joke. The way my self-esteem and my self-worth is set up, what the fuck do I look like trying to get a straight woman to realize the beauty of Zarandrian? Girl, fuck you. Stay the fuck over there. So that's what I mean when I say I'm not recruiting. I jokingly say that because I have that comedic element to me. Baby, I want you to be clear. This is much deeper than just I'm not recruiting. No. The way my self-esteem and my self-worth is set up, oh baby. The last thing I'm about to do is try to pander and audition and tap dance for you to see my value. Sis, have fun with them men, them phantom men that apparently ain't around, because you telling me what you telling me right now. I'm not the non-binary person who has this desire to get a cisgender woman to choose me. Let me go ahead. Go ahead with them dudes. Stay the fuck over there. We a fool. When I say we fool, we fool. Sad for sis. Block their own blessings. I know I enjoyed more once I queered it up. And guess what? I don't know if you're gay or straight, but if you're straight and you are queering your straight sex, you're gonna enjoy it more. You're gonna enjoy it more. It sounds insane, but you would be so shocked at the what I call devaluing statements asked of trans and non-binary, especially black folk. Well, would you consider dating a white person? Well, would you consider dating, I mean, egregious shit. Would you consider dating, not to be ableist, but I've had people that say, well, would you consider dating somebody in a wheelchair? Or would you consider dating somebody who was blind? Like, y'all are not asking the stereotypical beautiful femme if she would date a man with no arm. Like, y'all are not being so egregious, but the things that you ask non-binary, transgender, queer people who we would consider dating is egregious and a slap in the face under the context of the way y'all asking these questions. It's like you're saying it in a way that is ableist because you're making disabled people bottom of the barrel choices. And you're saying that you, because of who you are, should be picking from the bottom of the barrel. That is ableist as fuck. You are not asking the pretty cisgender cute girl if she would date a fat man, a short man, a crippled man. You're not doing that. You're not doing that. But the shit you will ask non-binary people, transgender people who they're willing to date is ableist as fuck because of where you're positioning the disabled person in the hierarchy. You're putting them at the bottom of the barrel. It's almost like you transgender people, queer people, non-binary people shouldn't have standards, shouldn't have desires, should be willing to settle for anything when it comes to partnership in a romantic arena, in the employment arena, in the housing arena. It's disrespectful, it's egregious, and it's ableist as fuck. Because I know y'all not, let me tell you something. I went to Spelman College, the home of some of America's and the world's most beautiful black women. There are two things you're probably not going to leave Spelman without: a friend who is going to be an attorney and a fine ass black friend. Beautiful women are normal for me. And I know y'all not asking them cisgender fine ass girls them same fucking questions when they say they want partnership. I know you're probably not telling them shit like, well, date yourself. You're telling them you deserve the best. Any man would be lucky to have you. But you telling people like us, we will be lucky to have anybody. When you start asking us them type of questions, would you date somebody white? Would you date somebody Indian? Would you date somebody with one leg? I even was asked, would you date somebody unemployed, or would you date somebody that couldn't read? Like, what the fuck? That's wild. Y'all really need to stop. So anyway, I'm not saying that queerness is perfect. I'm not saying that queer sex is perfect. I'm not saying that, blackness is perfect. I am just interrogating the fact that they can't believe that non-binary trans folk have any boundaries because they are stuck in theirs. Oh, come on, Kim Chaos Possible. You better say it louder for the people. They can't believe that non-binary and trans folk have any boundaries because they are stuck in theirs. And baby, them boundaries they stuck in got them fucked up. Them boundaries got them fucked up. Them boundaries got them trapped. Heteronormativity is a sham. The patriarchy is a sham. Well, y'all, I'm about to go. My hope today, so manifest this for me, is that I find some cute shit to wear on the beaches. I'm taking a photo shoot in Bali, so I need some cute clothes for the beaches, the water areas. So that's where I'm about to go today, in search of that. I'm not giving a lot of, I'm giving 2 hours to this max. So if you could manifest that for me, I'm gonna save this live. I'm also going to, please y'all, I need y'all to go. I'm trying to get monetized on YouTube. I want to have that as passive income within the next 6 months. If you could please go to the Ignorant Intellectuals YouTube page and subscribe. Also tell me, you can DM me. Don't tell me in the chat. DM me topics you would like for me to talk about. I don't know if I have time to order from Mango unless it can be here. I leave Thursday morning at 7:30. So we've gotten to the point of actually having to go outside to the stores. If you could DM me topics you would like me to cover, different ways you can see me spin my gifts and talents around YouTube, because this is new for me. There was a time I only had 200 Instagram followers too, child. Thank you, Kim Chaos. So all of those things I am open to suggestions. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I appreciate all of y'all for sticking and staying on this live. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. Happy fucking Pride. Have a great day. Peace.